My name is Jon Kher Kaw. I'm a Senior Urban Development Specialist at the World Bank. I work for a global practice called the Social, Urban, Rural and Resilience Global Practice. I work primarily on South Asian cities at the bank. I think the most pressing challenges for urbanization in South Asian cities is how do you accommodate the growing populations that are coming into South Asian cities. Just for example, between 2015 and 2030, it's projected that we will have at least 250 million people coming into cities, and how we manage that to make cities continue to be productive and livable centers for people will be very, very important in South Asia. Every city in South Asia has its own very different context, and the solutions will be very different. But there are some interesting observations in the countries I've worked in. For example, in Sri Lanka, Colombo, the city has transformed quite dramatically over the last 10 years. Today, Colombo in Sri Lanka is a very different city from 5 years ago. It's very much improved in terms of connectivity as well as how land is managed within the city. There's a lot of improvements in the urban space and freeing up land for productive and livable uses. A lot of the innovations or initiatives by cities, such as improving intra-city connectivity with BRTs and improving mobility within cities and managing land use such that you accommodate for growth on the peripheries, but also keeping the city compact is extremely beneficial in terms of economic prosperity and environmental sustainability. By improving the way cities function more efficiently, people get to jobs, they don't spend too much time on the roads, you save time, you can be more productive. At the same time, managing sprawl in cities also help to reduce the carbon footprint of cities and also being more efficient in general environmentally. You don't take up too much land and you're more effective and resourceful with land use. City level decision makers have really the responsibility to account, to be responsible and to respond to immediate city needs, whether it's basic services, and also to be very inclusive in the way they respond to citizens on the needs. On the national government front, I think it's important to set the urban agenda up front, thinking in terms of being very clear on their role on issues such as creating a system of cities, coordinating how cities come together will be a very important role for the government. Also things like fiscal transfers and empowering local governments to make decisions on how to manage cities will be very, very important. 3 areas that city governments can look to improving are its accountability mechanisms, looking at how to close the financing deficits, as well as looking at empowering local governments. I think cities should really think about how cities can leverage on its city assets. What I mean is not only to just invest in capacity building, but also think about how to leverage on, for example, land value capture, for example, to improve its financing and to improve the livability, and thus also improving the attractiveness of coming into cities. Only then can you think about how cities can be sustainable in the longer term.